Yo, what is up, guys? So we're going to be showcasing off the new Galaxy Photon deck in action here, and it's going to be going up against a lot of different newer decks. Right now we're going to be seeing it up against Danger, Dark Worlds. We're going to see Invoked, Thunder, Dragons. We're going to see it basically against a lot of different stuff in the game. But anyways, Galaxy Braver is actually a really important card that actually makes the deck a lot more consistent because it lets you go into rank 4s and ranks 8s much easier. Plus, because that wasn't enough, it has that ability to actually target a Galaxy monster in the graveyard, and its attack and defense become that monster's attack and defense. So that's really good. Now, in this case, it's going to be actually negated, the effect of it, to actually be able to have the effect of copying something, but that is because he actually used Transfer. Galaxy Transfer is actually a really good card because it allows you to just basically go into a free, like, other rank that you want to go into. So one card, you have to pay 2k life points. But the Danger Dark World player actually summoned a Galaxy Eyes card himself, which actually had material, but Neo Galaxy Eyes just absolutely destroys that because it's going to go ahead and negate everything's effect, and then on top of that, it's going to be able to attack multiple times. Plus, it gains extra attack depending on how much material you actually got rid of from your opponent's card. But you detach one material from this card, you detach all materials from monsters your opponent controls. So basically, if your opponent has an Exceed, you make this, and 99% of the time, you win the game. Now, I'm going to showcase it off against a few different things because the deck is actually pretty good. Now, that's not the only new card that the Galaxy Photon deck did get. They actually have a mini Pot of Avarice, basically. It's not a bad card, but a lot of times in this deck, I want to say you recycle a lot of your cards. I'm not sure how viable it is, but definitely Braver making the deck so much better because it lets you, again, go into rank 4s or rank 8s because it has the effect where you get to reveal a Photon monster in your hand, special summon it from your hand, and if you do, the level becomes the revealed monster's level. And then if it's normal or special, you get to target 1, and that's where you get to copy the attack and defense. But in most cases, that effect isn't what makes it really good. I mean, it does have that ability, which is not bad by any means, but it's more so the ability to just go into rank 4s and 8s a lot more consistently in the deck, because otherwise, sometimes this deck can be a brick, but once again, we're going to see him bust out a bunch of monsters, and the deck is all about negations here, and he actually has access to Cypher Dragon, which actually lets you target an opponent's monster and take control of it until the end phase. But it has its effects negated, unfortunately. But against a deck like Thunder Dragons, right, sometimes you don't have the option to get rid of it because, as you guys know, if you've played against Thunder Dragons, they always protect itself because it has that ability to make it so if it would be destroyed, you just banish 2 cards. So stealing it definitely is a way to get rid of your opponent's monster. And on top of that, like the Makaba isn't going to be able to really do too much against the Galaxy deck because they're just going to boost up their attack. But he happens to activate multiple copies of Alistair, but it's not going to be doing anything because, of course, we have Tachyon, Transmigration. Now, what's even interesting with this, and that's why I wanted to showcase off this one. Shout out to you, Bruce Wayne, for building this really good deck. If you control a Galaxy Eyes monster, you get to actually negate anything. What is it? It's spell trap cards and monster effects activated before this card in this chain. The guy actually activated 2 cards, so he actually went plus and negated everything. And what's even better with that is if you were to say, also there was a bonus effect of this card. If you control a Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon, you can actually activate it from your hand, which is just awesome. But I'll talk more about Tachyon Transmigration when we showcase off some more replays here. Just adds to the commentary here. So basically what that means is a lot of times in this deck, you're going to be making something that can negate something. For example, number 90, as a quick effect, it can actually stop something. Even the new Link monster, which we already covered, I mean, you're probably going to be seeing it in this game anyways. Oh, wait, where is it? Okay, I guess it's not in this build? Hold on. Where is it? Okay, anyways, the Link monster also has the ability to destroy a special summon monster. If your opponent was to, say, change something, and you change something else, and then they change something to that, when you activate that counter trap card, it negates everything that your opponent had, which obviously is pretty good because, well, then your opponent just loses out on everything, then all of your effects go through. It's pretty OP, but usually you'll only get like 1 or 2 additional, like, you know, negations with it. But, I mean, the fact that you can activate it from the hand is pretty dirty, but, yeah. It negates everything. Really, really good stuff, especially against a deck that would like to chain a lot of stuff. So if you're going up, you know, if somehow you match up against like a chain burn oriented deck, even though chain strike, not the most meta card, I understand. In fact, it's on the list anyways. But if they were to say chain everything, and you just negated one, like the last thing, it would negate everything that they have, and at that point they just kind of lose the game. But you can see Galaxy player. Playmaker not looking too hot over here. We have the Hyperstar over here, which is going to be able to add any light monster from your graveyard to your hand once it's destroyed by battle or by card effect. Then we have the Photon Blast, which makes it so monsters with 2,000 or more attack can't be targeted or be destroyed. And I mean, it was a pretty one-sided duel for sure over there. I want to showcase off a few different duels so you guys can see maybe some of the plays that you can do. Oh, so here's the newer card that we didn't showcase off. I mean, there's not really too much that we can talk about with Cleric because I mean it's a pretty simple effect. But anyways, its effect is that you can target a Photon or Galaxy Exceed monster you control, and you get to attach this card from your hand to it as material. And if this card is normal or special, you get to target 5 Photon and or Galaxy cards with different names in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, then draw 2 cards. You can only use 1 Galaxy Cleric effect per turn, and only once that turn. But, I mean, the guy's playing something, well, it's kind of past meta, I would say, like older meta, but still, at the end of the day, it's not a bad deck by any means. So, Skill Drain, gonna go ahead and say no to that. Galaxy Cyclone, gonna get rid of Skill Drain anyways, so now that it is gone, it's gonna be able to utilize that Galaxy Cleric effect, and it definitely helped out. I mean, being able to reset some of your cards, draw 2 cards, not too bad, and it is a level 4, so usually it's just gonna be fodder for making, of course, perhaps the Soul Flare, because it just requires 2 light monsters. And then also you can technically go into Hyperstar, and then also you can go into Photon Blast Dragon. That's usually the common plays over there. But yes. Now this one, I know Utopia, this is a Utopia-oriented deck, which is not meta at all. But he actually opens up relatively good here. We have the Galaxy Soldier. He's going to go ahead and just go for some extra cards, search out some stuff. Vanisher, going to go ahead and add a Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon from his deck to his hand. And he's got the Soul Flare Dragon out. And this is actually a pretty powerful play because he has Transfer. It's just really a great target bravery because like sometimes you don't have like an extra 8 in the deck to summon to go into things like number 38. But in this case over here, he had the number 90. He's got Soul Flare Dragon. This is a negate. This is a negate, and this is also a negate. Plus it attaches the spell. So, like, it's not like this player's really doing anything, but I just want to show you guys what you can do. And since he already had the extra deck, linked zones over here, he actually moves it over to the right side, and then they'll have another, like, zone. So that was pretty cool. I like that play. I mean, obviously this guy is not going to be too hot against majority of decks anyways, but just want to show you guys that this deck actually has a lot of potential. He goes and makes a SR9 Utopia Prime, trying to attack into the Blast, but it doesn't really matter at this point because, well, number 38 actually has another effect where if they attack something, you get to detach material, and then it forces it to attack this card, which, well, I mean, most people don't know about that effect because most people only negate spells with this, but it was a pretty blowout over there. But anyways, I mean, there's a few more duels. I didn't think there was anything that was really like insanely like better than what we saw. It's kind of more of the same. Actually, hold on. I think that this one, okay, this one I wanted to showcase off because it shows you how much you can like push for game against certain decks that like to kind of stall, or perhaps if they were to like negate one effect here, because we will indeed see that. So we're going to see a Soul Flare Dragon and then Photon Blast. These are very, very common plays over here to make like these 3 setup. If you had the spell card that pay 2k life points and special summon like double, in this case he already has like his zones filled up, but if you made a number 38, it's pretty much game over. So he's got this to negate, he's got this to negate, and he's also got the Soul Flare Dragon to get rid of any special summon monster that would be in the way. So he's going to go ahead and activate that, get rid of that. And his opponent really doesn't have too many other options here. But he does have access to Fairy Tale Snow in the graveyard. So he's going to go ahead and make Soul Flare. Very, very popular card. And then Galaxy Knight. Going to go ahead and go right into number 38. Fairy Tale Snow, going to be flipping that thing face down. He's going to be able to add a card. He's going to go ahead and attack over the Fairy Tale Snow. Attack directly with most of the cards. He's going to go ahead and Fairy Tale Snow again. He's going to attempt to flip that, but it's not going to work out because, well, number 9 is going to say no to that effect. And that's going to be a game. So it can show you guys again. The deck it's capable of OTKing. It's capable of making fields where it's like kind of difficult for your opponent to play. But if any of you guys want the deck profile, I'm gonna give it to you guys real quick over here, courtesy again, Mr. Bruce Wayne from AKA Batman. Anyways, let's get on with the deck profile. So anyways, 3 copies of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, 2 copies of Galaxy Knight, 2 copies of one of the newer cards, Galaxy Braver, 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier, 3 copies of Photon Vanisher, 1 copy of the new Galaxy Cleric, 2 copies of Photon Advancer, 3 copies of Photon Orbital, 1 copy of Galaxy Wizard, 1 Galaxy Cyclone, because it is a Galaxy card, because this one does let you go for Galaxy cards. It doesn't always have to be the monster. That's why I like this. That's actually pretty cool. However, this card does have the effect when you banish it from the graveyard, then at that point, well, it doesn't really do this card any good, but it's still a Galaxy card, right? Then we have Photon Advancer, 2 copies, and 3 copies of... Oh, I think we were... Where were we at? Somewhere around here. Anyways, Galaxy Wizard, 1 Galaxy Cyclone, 1 Photon Hand, 3 copies of Photon Sanctuary, 1 Accelerate, 3 copies of Galaxy Expedition, which actually works quite well with Galaxy Braver because it just lets you special summon. Well, if you control a 5 or higher, you can special summon a 5 or higher. A lot of people do also go for, of course, Galaxy Soldier because it searches out anything. Anyways, then we got the Reborn. We got double copies of Transfer, which is the card where you pay 2k, get some doubles. Then we have Photon Stream of Destruction. So this lets you just target a card in the field, banish it, and you can only activate this card during your turn unless you control a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. It's an okay card. Obviously, it gets rid of anything. Plus, it's a quick play, so it has that ability to get rid of things. Then we have Galaxy Zero, Breakthrough Skill, 2 copies of Photon Change, and 3 copies of Tachyon Transmigration, which, like I said before in the duel, you guys saw it was able to negate multiple things there. With the Alistair, which it tried to boost up the cards to attack to like, what, 4,000 something, but negated all of them. For extra deck, we got Cypher Blade, we got Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, Full Armor Photon Dragon, number 62. Then we got Cypher Dragon, number 38, Tachyon Dragon, 2 copies of number 90, 2 copies of Starlight Photon Blast, 2 copies of Soul Flare, and 1 Hyperstar. I'm not honestly sure how I feel about Hyperstar. There's really very few circumstances that I'd rather just make this card over like anything else. I'd rather just make this. So maybe if you wanted to, you could perhaps cut it, throw in a Cowboy. Sometimes you never know when Cowboy is great for game, right? For the side deck, it wasn't really shown off, so I'm not going to really talk too much about it, but it's just Prohibition, evenly matched, Master Restrict, Iron Wall, goes in match. I thought, would have been pretty good if you threw in some hand traps that can make the deck much better. I don't really feel like you need Breakthrough Skill. That's just my personal take on it. Honestly, with a card like this, I feel like since this deck, it generally can push really fast, I would maybe consider dropping it because it is kind of one of those cards where you get to use after you've gone through your play. And I feel like the way that this deck is successful, you don't really need it. So those would be 2 cards that I would consider cutting in the deck. But like I said, you guys can go ahead and edit to your liking. But anyways, let me know what you think of the new Galaxy support. Do you guys think it's going to be meta? I honestly think it's pretty dang good. I mean, it's very consistent at throwing out like 2-3 negations. And then on top of that, you definitely have a lot of big beaters to deal with a lot of decks. But some decks, they just don't have that many options to deal with big beaters, especially when you have, of course, the... Photon Blast, sorry. Sometimes these I get confused. I just look at the rank 4 and I'm like, okay, it's the rank 4. Anyways, Photon Blast Dragon's the one where it makes it so they can't be targeted and they cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. And when you have big beaters, that's generally a tough thing to deal with because, well, that's usually what people do to get rid of things that have lots of attack. They destroy them by card effects or target them. But anyways, let me know your thoughts down below on the new Galaxy Photon support as well as the duels that you guys saw. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button to always be updated with the latest Yu-Gi-Oh cards in action and showcasing off some gameplay. But thanks again, Mr. Bruce Wayne, for sending in some gameplay. But if you guys got any other good gameplay of some of the newer stuff, I know I don't know if we got the, well, there's only one new Gravekeeper card, but hopefully they'll release the rest of the support. And there's new Noble Knight support, but that will be uploaded very soon. So make sure you subscribe to see it as soon as it comes out. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'm signing out.